I often wonder if this place is disturbed by the spirits of its dead.
Silence, my brother.
Everything alright? You seem a bit distracted. I'm here if you need me.
Ah, at last. I hope you found the place all right.
So what happens now?
Well, what happens now is you start your new life in the Dark Brotherhood. You're part of the family, after all. This, as you can see, is our sanctuary. You won't find a safer place in all of Skyrim. So get comfortable. Yes, the silence suits you. Gives you an air of mystery. Now, down to business. I'm arranging a job for you. But in the meantime, go talk to Nazir. He may have some smaller contracts to tide you over. Soon the Night Mother will arrive, and things around here are sure to get even more interesting. Ah, but one last thing. A welcome home present. The armor of the Dark Brotherhood. May it serve you well in all your endeavors.
Who is the Night Mother?
The unholy matron, the shrouded lady, the mistress of the void. She goes by many names. Ages past, Sithis gave a woman 5 children. She killed them to win his favor, thus becoming the Night Mother. If you believe that sort of thing. Today she's a skeleton, an ancient corpse. But more importantly, a corpse that's being brought to this sanctuary by her keeper.
So the Night Mother is being brought here?
Yes. A few months ago I received word from the Night Mother's keeper that he had arrived in Skyrim from Cyrodiil. The Night Mother's crypt in Bravil was destroyed, a result of the chaos caused by the war with the Thalmor. That forced a relocation. I don't know where the keeper has been these past few months, but I recently received another letter. He's bringing the Night Mother here. Soon.
What if I get caught killing someone?
Try not to. But I do realize it's sometimes not that easy. You may want to make a statement, or a contract may require a public killing. Murder is obviously a very serious crime, and a very high bounty will be put on your head in the hold where the act was committed. You can run, obviously, but you'll still have a price on your head. If a guard attacks, you can attempt to yield by sheathing your weapon. If the guard accepts, you can serve your time in a cell or pay your bounty. We've all gone through it. We do what we must to survive. But there is another option. Some members of the Thieves' Guild in Riften can get their bounties erased for a price. Something to think about.
Where do the contracts come from?
They used to come from the Night Mother. Potential clients would perform the Black Sacrament, and she would hear their prayers. The Night Mother would communicate this to the listener, who would then dispatch a speaker to arrange the contract with the client. But that was a long time ago. There hasn't been a listener in years. Not since Cyrodiil was overrun in the war with the Thalmor. But people don't know that, so they still perform the ritual. And we eventually hear about it. When someone wants us, we find out.
Are there any rules I should be aware of?
Used to be the Dark Brotherhood was bound by 5 tenets, but we stopped following those years ago. All those rules, all that discipline, and look where the Dark Brotherhood ended up. We're the last of our kind, and we live the way we see fit. Bottom line, respect your family. Do that, and everything else will fall into place.
What can you tell me about yourself?
This sanctuary has been my entire life since I was a young woman. That's when I first discovered my, shall we call it, aptitude for elimination. I had an uncle, you see. He made certain unwanted advances. So I killed him, and liked it. Then I killed again, and liked it even more, and so on. I was recruited by the Dark Brotherhood, and have been here ever since. I met my husband, Arnbjorn, rose to leadership, and now, here we are. Be sure and introduce yourself to your new family members. They're all very eager to meet you.
Again. Do the part where he tries to buy you some candy.
Okay, wait. Here we go. Oh, you're such a pretty little girl. Would the sweetie like a sweetie? Oh yes, how about some chocolate? Oh yes, please, kind sir. My mama and papa left me all alone, and I'm so very hungry. I know a shortcut to the candy shop, through this alley. Oh yeah, very good, very good. My, it's dark down here.
Well, here I am.
Oh, but you're so
And you haven't tried to kill me yet?
Such a lovely smile. Your teeth!
Potentially
No!
You are sworn to
So
our new
bad,
sister, yes?
but you are so weak.
Not merely sworn.
What about you, Festus?
That's my wife you're
How did
speaking
that last
of.
contract turn out?
Good. Then I trust that, in protecting our initiate, you will bring no harm or danger upon this sanctuary. I doubt I need to explain what will happen if you do. For now, I shall allow your presence here to continue.
Tried a new
As you will, then.
little something I've been working on in my spare time. Came this close to turning that priest inside out. Damned messy.
And what of your latest, Arnbjorn? Something about a Khajiit. Merchant, was it?
Oh, a big doggy chasing a little kitty. How adorable.
I am not adorable, it was not funny, and he wasn't a merchant. He was a Khajiit monk, a master of the Whispering Fang style. But now he's dead, and I have a new loincloth.
So, is it true?
Word certainly travels fast, doesn't it?
To kill triplets secretly, and then have the whole thing blamed on the mother. Remarkable.
Now a child could have accomplished it. Such is the power of the arcane. If you only knew of the spells I didn't use. Oh.
There you are. Astrid's told me all about you. Heard she pulled the old choose your victim gag with you. Ah, I love that one. Don't let my appearance throw you off. I'm older than you, a lot older. Getting bitten by a vampire when you're 10 will do that to a girl.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm just a little girl. The Dark Brotherhood killed my mama and papa, and then they took me captive. Please, please help me. Rather convincing, don't you think? In truth, I'm no more a little girl than you are. I was once, of course, 300 years ago. Vampirism tends to keep one remarkably fresh. Can't wait to hear all about the next person you murdered.
Welcome, my sister. Welcome to our sanctuary. You have made the right choice joining us, I assure you. Me, I've been part of the Dark Brotherhood from the day I first hatched. I am Shadow Skaal, you see. Born under the sign of the Shadow.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Once I was a Shadow Skaal, an assassin in service to the King of Blackmarsh, trained by the Dark Brotherhood since the day of my hatching. Ah, but that was a lifetime ago. Today, I am the last of my kind. My order is extinct. Now, I happily serve Astrid in this sanctuary. I am a trained killer, and once again have been given purpose. Life is good. Kill well and often.
So you're the newest member of our dwindling, dysfunctional little family. I've heard quite a bit about you. Ah, going for the mysterious and brooding thing, huh? That may work for your targets, but you'll find I'm not so easily impressed.
Astrid said you'd have some work for me.
Did she now? Well, as it turns out, there are a few lingering contracts we haven't had the chance to complete just yet. And more, dribbling in from time to time. I'll assign them to you as they become available, to be completed at your leisure.
Sounds simple enough.
It is. These aren't particularly glamorous assassinations, I'll be honest. Don't pay much either. But they'll keep you busy. Just do them as you're able. There's no real time limit. The targets aren't going anywhere. You can turn each one in as it's completed, or wait and turn in the whole group when all the targets have been eliminated, whichever works for you.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Ah, well, I'm Redguard, as I'm sure you've noticed. Though not like most of my kind you'll find in Skyrim, that's for damn sure. I am a child of Hammerfell, born of the sands of the mighty Alakir. In that great desert, blood is a shade of crimson I can scarce describe. My past is long and storied, and not altogether proud. But the Dark Brotherhood saved me from myself, and I have never looked back.
I'm ready for the first set of contracts.
Well then, let's get started. I've got 3 available right now. Your targets are the beggar Narfi, an ex-miller named Enodius Papias, and Baytild, a mine boss. When you've completed all those, we'll see if I might have some more. Happy hunting.
So, this is your new family?
Does it bother you?
I'm hardly one to judge. I've kept stranger company in my time. Well, a better stranger than most, I'll admit. And they're such a friendly bunch already. So, what drew you to it? The assassinations?
You're a bounty hunter. How different is it? Contract, kill, gold.
True, but bounty's illegal.
Yes, because you've never illegally taken a life.
Alright, you got me there. There's something I've been wondering though.
About what?
You still saved my life in that prison. I knew at the time you didn't have to. Now knowing you're with the Brotherhood, I'm wondering again. Why?
I don't take every life I come across, you know. You didn't need to die.
I guess I shouldn't have made assumptions about you just for your, profession. I never forget your mercy. Your secret's safe with me.
So, Kaiden, isn't it? If you're here, it could only be because Astrid's allowing it.
Let me guess. You're here to ward me off.
Humph. Doesn't bother me. I get why you're here. I know a fellow attack dog when I see one.
I prefer sword and shield.
Dress it up all you want. It's no different in the end. I protect Astrid and kill who she needs me to. Same goes for you and yours. So long as you don't bring trouble to this family, I won't have to break your spine.
Hey, don't tempt me now. I could use a new werewolf hide rug.
Ha! I look forward to you trying. Well, it's raw meat. Oh, my beautiful wife has told me all about you.
It's nice to meet you, Arnbjorn.
I'll give you a week before you end up dead in a ditch.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Look, if you're trying to get to know me, don't. I don't like you, and I never will. It's nothing personal, but my wife trusts you, and I trust her judgment, so you can't be all bad. Here's all you need to know. I'm a werewolf. I like killing things. I love Astrid. I hate annoying people, and the color blue gives me a headache. Yeah, good luck.
Yes, you're the new family member. Let's make it easy. Consider me the cranky old uncle nobody talks to. You go your way, I'll go mine.
I'm afraid I don't have a primary contract for you yet.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around. Is it absolutely necessary for you to bother me right now?
Oh, it's you. Come to extort more from me? I guess you had your reasons. Of course.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Huh? Oh, sure, whatever. I prefer Debella's teachings myself.
Are you the only one that works at the bunkhouse?
Of course not. You expect me to take care of it by myself? My niece Svana helps me with the chores. She'd be more help if she kept her head out of the clouds. She's been with me ever since her parents were killed by bandits and she was dropped in my lap. I don't know why I bother.
All meats guaranteed, clean and free from rock ingredients.
If you've got the coin,
You want a drink?
To the right place. Pull up a seat.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Interesting. I'll look it over. Thanks. Just get out of here. Ours is to smile at your passing, friend.
Oh, it's you again. What in blazes do you want? I guess you had your reasons. Of course.
What's the word around town?
If it's true that the dragons have returned, what will it mean for all of us? Is this how it all ends?
What's the word around town?
Riften's biggest exports used to be fishing and honey until the Blackbriar family moved in. Now the Matery is the biggest game in town.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Look, the only religion I believe in is the good old septum. Everything else is just a waste. Come back and see us again.
If your allegiance lies with the Empire, we haven't much to discuss.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Mara this and Mara that. Where is she when hundreds of Stormcloaks are dying for no good reason, eh?
Why all the hatred for the Empire?
They mean to take our history and crush it all in the name of some damn treaty. The soil beneath our feet is steeped in the blood of our ancestors. We've fought for this land, and died for it. I lost my own daughter to the Imperial dogs, and by Talos I'll not lose anyone else.
What happened to your daughter?
Lirya joined the Stormcloaks many years ago, when the first of the skirmishes broke out across Skyrim. I was so proud of her. She served as a battle maiden, using her healing arts to help those that fell on the battlefield. Never even lifted a blade in her life. It didn't matter. The Imperial soldiers cut her down, killed her like a dog, and left her body to rot in the mud. And that's why I won't rest easy until every single Imperial soldier joins her, and Ulfric sits upon the throne of Skyrim. Support Ulfric or die trying. There's nothing in between.
I've never seen Mjol this upset about anything. The city really gets to her.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I visit the temple sometimes, but perhaps not often enough. Thanks for bringing this to me. Watch yourself around here. It isn't safe.
A fine day to you, friend. May you die with a sword in your hands.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Thank you. I'll share this with Eren. I see I still have much to learn. Lead on.
Whoa, something smells good. Got me, man.
Is there something I can do for you?
Why hire a common soldier to protect you when you can have a master of the arcane?
Fuck yeah, get in my belly.
Why settle for just stabbing your foes when you can roast...
It's a fine day with you around.
The only thing better than a powerful mage fighting at your side is... well, nothing really.
Have anything interesting to tell me?
My food is the best in all of Skyrim. Always as fresh as the day it was collected. Thanks again for the ice wraith teeth.
Sure, I'm a dirty beggar. Why would you want to even speak to me? Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart. All right, then.
Can I interest you in some fine goods from Morrowind?
You have an odd name for a dark elf.
I may be Dark Elf by birth, but I was raised Argonian. Through reasons I'm still trying to discover, I ended up orphaned, then taken in by a kindly Argonian family in Black Marsh. I hope one day to find out what happened to me, how I ended up like that.
Do you have any clues about your past?
Just one. I know when I was found by my Argonian father, I was wrapped in a blanket bearing the symbol of House Telvanni. It was one of the great houses in Morrowind long ago. Whether that means I was one of them or not, I'm uncertain. If you come across anything in your travels that might provide me with the answers I'm looking for, I'd be grateful.
I'll keep an eye open.
Thank you.
Why were you searching in Skyrim?
I learned that a matron who had served for House Telvanni had escaped Morrowind during the Accession War. Records showed her buying passage aboard a sailing vessel named the Pride of Telvos, but that's where the trail ran cold. I spent years looking for what became of the ship, but I ended up empty-handed.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Mara can't help me. No one can. Anything you can find would be of great help. Good luck.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
Protect yourself right. Buy armor from Grelka.
I like the rift better than anywhere in Skyrim. Cold forests and the broken mountains.
Hey, so what if I have a problem? I know how to deal with it.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Mara only helps those who can afford her tithes. This is nonsense. Safe travels.
It is our most favorite I'm feeling much better now, thanks to you.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I wouldn't even clean my tail with this trash. You've been kind. I thank you.
Trees. They're beautiful here. Reminds me of autumn at home. The fall forest makes me miss my childhood. Playing among the towering trees in Valenwood and living with my brethren.
You promised me you'd pay me back yesterday.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Seems like a noble cause. I'll look it over. I'd better get going.
If you'd stop wasting your coin on that skooma, you'd have enough gold to live on.
Sorry about the mess. Keeping this place clean is quite a chore.
Do you work here?
Work? I suppose you can call it that. I call it slavery. I work my fingers to the bone keeping this disgusting place clean. Ever since my parents died and Helga took me in, it's been a nightmare. How was I to know she was such a wretched woman? So now I'm stuck living here while those pigs she calls customers grope me and say the most awful things.
Why do you hate Helga so much?
It's not just the work, it's everything about her. She's disgusting. I think she takes her worship of Dibella a bit too seriously. Do you know she slept with 3 different men in the last month alone? What kind of woman would do such a thing? Just for once, I'd like to see her squirm, to rub her nose in it.
There must be a way.
Actually, there is. But I don't think I could get away with doing it. She'd kill me if she found out. You see, I happen to know, after she makes love, she gives her partner a token of her affection, called a Mark of Dibella. If you confront her with 3 of the marks, she'd be so embarrassed. Well, I don't know what she'd do.
Sure, I'll help you.
Oh, this is going to be great! You need to get the marks of Dibella from Boli, Hofgrir, and Indaren. Not sure how you're going to do that, but try your best. Then just confront Helga with them, and the rest works itself out.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Thank you. Blessings upon you, too. Try and get those marks without violence, please. I don't want to be responsible for their deaths. Or yours.
Naluva, you promised me you'd pay me back
Someone's
yesterday.
had fun here.
So what's the story?
Just give me a few more days, and I promise I'll come up with it.
If you'd stop wasting
Any
your
luck
coin
getting
on that
marks
skooma,
from
you'd
this
have
man?
enough gold to live on. Working at the Riften Fishery is
Sorry,
tough, but it
I'll
puts some
get it to
coin
you
in my
somehow.
pocket.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Oh, interesting. I'll read it this evening. Remain vigilant, and don't trust anyone.
It's a fine day with you around.
The fairest
Looking to stay
prices and
alive?
the highest
Why take
quality
a
in
chance?
Skyrim.
Beautiful baubles and gleaming gemstones over here. Greetings, honored friend. Could I interest you in some fine jewelry? Safe travels, Landstrider.
You gonna buy something? Or just here for training? Otherwise, move on. Come back when you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows I could use it.
If you're looking for anything to sell for a fair price, I run the Pond Prawn over by the market. I guess you had your reasons. Of course.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
If only more people would read this, things might be better in Riften. Mm-hmm.
Fancy yourself the adventuring type, eh? It's just as well. I doubt your combat prowess would prove valuable in a real battle anyway.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I don't understand how paper will help the dregs of this city, but suit yourself. You do well to remember who's really in charge around here.
The Greybeards have summoned the Dragonborn to High Hrothgar. Such a thing has not happened for hundreds of years.
What happened to your daughter?
I trained our daughter Lirya as a healer to one day tend the shrine of Talos and replace me as a priestess of Talos. When the fighting began over the white gold concordat, she ran off to join the Stormcloaks. She had her father's fire. How could I say no? She died out there, only having tended to the wounded soldiers for a few months. We never even found her body. The Empire burned all the dead.
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Ah, get this awful paper away from me by Talos. Talos guide you.
So, she's been fiddling with the fisherman, banging the brewer and getting shafted by the stable master. Helga's been a busy woman, hasn't she?
Don't cross me, elf.
You've been a good friend to me. That means something. Come to see Balaman perform miracles with steel, eh?
I'd like to make an investment in your business.
Excellent. I think you'll be glad that you made this decision.
Let's see what you can do with this.
Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Thank you for the blessing. I'll put this to good use. Return any time. You're quite welcome here.
Welcome. Allow me to recommend the Blackbriar Mead, the purest brew in all of Skyrim.
Tell me about Maven Blackbriar.
She's an absolute pleasure to work for. In fact, I almost feel guilty accepting pay from her. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my fellow meadery workers just how lucky we are to be working for such a charitable family.
Come on, get the truth off your chest.
Okay, look. If I'm caught saying anything bad about the meadery or the family, I'm a dead man. I'm the 4th person to work the tasting counter in the last year. The last 3 are at the bottom of Lake Honrik. Just take my advice, and just get out of Riften as soon as you can.
What makes Blackbriar Mead so special?
Lady Maven's been developing the secret recipe for Blackbriar Mead over the last several decades. She uses a very secret blend of spices, fresh honey from Golden Glow Estate, and specially constructed aging casks to ensure the best flavor. Even when you get to the last sip in your flagon, it'll taste just as good as the first.
That sounded rehearsed.
Damn it. Sorry. I'm not very good at this. Look, just don't say anything to Maven, will you? I've spent weeks trying to get that right, and if she sees how stupid I am, she'll get rid of me.
There are worse things than being fired.
Yeah, fired. Sure, that's what I meant.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I'll read it. Thank you. Come back and see us again.
Don't cross me, elf.
It's actually quite beautiful here.
Need something?
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I have no desire to seek religion. All right, then.
Dirge told me you made it into the guild. You need dirt on anything, you talk to me. Be seeing you around.
I hope you're finding the city in proper order, Thane.
A fine day to you, friend. May you die with a sword in your
You
hand.
look like you could use a drink. What do you say to some cheap mead?
Do you work for the meadery?
Sure. How do you think I get my hands on the good stuff and offer it so cheap? You think old Maven is just giving it away to anyone? Good thing she makes so much money. Makes it easier for merchandise like this to fall through the cracks.
You're selling cheap mead?
No, friend. You've got it all wrong. I'm not selling cheap mead. I'm selling good mead for cheap. Black Briar mead. I sell cases of it for half of what the inns and taverns pay through the meadery. All I need is someone to deliver it for me. If anyone saw me leave Riften, they get suspicious.
What kind of delivery?
I need someone to take this small keg of Blackbriar mead to Wilhelm at the Vilmer Inn in Alverstead. Drop it off, and he'll trade you something for the delivery. Keep it as payment for the legwork. Oh, and if you bump into Indarin from the meadery, keep your mouth shut. He'd rat us out in a second.
All right, I'll do it.
Good. Now get going.
Here, brother. Blessings of Mara upon you.
I don't have time for this nonsense. Remember, keep this to yourself.
I've never seen Miol this upset about anything. The city really gets to her.
I can't take it anymore, Tithus. Indarin keeps pushing me around, and I'm not even doing anything
much
wrong.
better now, thanks to you.
I'm off work at the Blackbriar Meadery.
Don't let
I'll
it
be
get
back
you
there in the
down.
morning.
Indarin will eventually tire
Travel
of picking
safe.
on you and move on to
You
someone
have
else.
no idea what it's like to have everything. Then watch it all disappear.
Can't you bother me at my armor stand in the market? Or are you that desperate for training? Come back when you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows I could use it.
Modesty, why don't you just
If
take
you're
a
ever in the market,
There's no need to sleep in Beggar's Row.
The cold stone,
Working
the
at the Riften
dampness,
fishery is tough.
It suits
but
me,
it's got some
Svanna.
coin in my pocket.
Are you sure that's the real reason? It wouldn't have anything to do with others making an Argonian.
Mud crabs are fascinating creatures. How anyone could regard mud crabs as vermin is simply beyond me.
Don't worry about me. I'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it absolutely necessary for you to bother me right now?
What do you want?
Yes, yes, I haven't got all day.
Any luck getting the marks from those men?
Come see me in the market if you're looking for the finest custom jewelry.
Congratulations. I hope you have a wonderful life together. Congratulations. I hope you have a wonderful life together.
If you've got the coin, you've come to the right place. Pull up a seat.
What in the name of oblivion do you want?
Here, sister. Blessings of Mara upon you.
Excellent. I needed some more kindling for my kitchen hearth. Out of my way.
What do you need?
Here. For the fishing, I guess.
New around Riften? Take my advice. Stay at the Bee and Barb. The bunkhouse isn't for you.
There's nothing like fishing on Lake Onric. You should try it sometime.
Don't even think about it.
The seats up here look a bit...
Blessings of Mara upon you.
What do you need, my friend?
I've given away all the missives.
Oh, splendid. Just splendid. Mara smiles upon us this day. Allow me to give you her gift. A true blessing to aid you in times of need. Despair not. Her warmth will protect you always. Good journey, my child. Long life to you, Thane.
I'm here to collect the plantation's profits.
Very good, ma'am. Until next time.
Argonian Ceremony by Talon J. A request for assistance in performing a traditional Argonian bonding ceremony. Drifa, I was wondering if you could speak to Merimal about perhaps presiding over a marriage ceremony for myself and Kirava. She's the love of my life, and I wish to be with her forever, but only if we can be wed in traditional Argonian fashion. Traditional Argonian bonding ceremonies are somewhat long and complex, involving unique rituals spoken in our native language. I'd be more than happy to provide a book describing what I'm looking for, as long as Merimal doesn't mind. Talon J. Attention employees, by Indirin. A stern warning to Blackbriar Meadery employees about theft. Notice to all employees. Lady Blackbriar has requested that all employees be subject to random searches at my discretion. There has been a rash of missing mead barrels lately, and I won't tolerate it any longer. Any employee caught with merchandise belonging to Lady Blackbriar will be subject to immediate incarceration in Riften Jail. If you have any objections to this posting, feel free to remove yourself from the meadery permanently. Indirin.
Corpse Preparation, Volume 2. On the Preparation of the Corpse. Volume 2, The Skeletal Corpse. When raising a skeleton servant, it is most important that the body of the skeleton be complete. If the skeleton is missing crucial bones, the results can be frustrating. One should only attempt to raise skeletons when you are sure that all or nearly all the bones are present. While the magic involved in raising a skeleton will assemble the bones in the proper order, skeletons may be strengthened considerably by the addition of support on their joints. The most common are leather straps that bind the bones together more tightly. Some practitioners also drive metal spikes between the joints, which is more expensive and time-consuming, but they protect the servant where it is weakest. The details of this are unimportant, as even an amateur can strengthen a skeleton significantly. Only practice will reveal the best method of binding and reinforcing the skeletal servant. Amateurs often make the mistake of binding the bones too tightly, limiting the skeleton's movements and making it useless. Again, only practice can give the necessary experience in these matters. Though it is best to err toward tight bindings, one may always loosen them at a later date. One more note to the student. While most undead can be raised again and again, skeletons are often damaged in ways that make raising them again impossible. This is another reason that care should be given to the skeleton's preparation. Too many young necromancers raise every skeleton they see with little or no preparation at all. Given the difficulty of obtaining corpses, this kind of inefficiency cannot be tolerated. Corpse Preparation, Volume 3. On the Preparation of the Corpse, Volume 3, The Fresh Corpse. Fresh and decayed corpses are those that still have flesh upon them. If their decay is advanced, or if you wish a skeletal servant instead, place the corpse along a coast or in a swamp or marsh. Animals are the necromancer's greatest allies when it comes to stripping the flesh from a corpse. The ravenous mud crabs of Morrowind can strip a corpse down to its bones in a matter of days. Lesser crabs in other provinces can do the same in a matter of weeks. If you wish to create a zombie servant, one need only bring the corpse to a suitable site and enact the proper rituals. However, there are a few tips that a young necromancer might want to know. For instance, a decayed servant may be raised many times, even if they've been dismembered by those who do not appreciate our art. If one of your servants comes to an unfortunate end, you may raise the servant again by carefully gathering as many parts as you can find, binding the bones with leather straps, and sewing the flesh, if it's not too decayed, with catgut. Your servant may be weaker each time this is done, but with care and maintenance one may raise zombies dozens of times. However, creating a mere zombie is a method best left to lazy or desperate practitioners. With only a bit more time and effort, one may create a far more useful mummified servant. The first step to creating a mummified servant is to soak the decaying corpse in a bath of salt or natron for at least 1 month. This will halt the decay of the corpse, and if the corpse is fresh enough to have an unpleasant odor, the salts will remove that as well. In a moist climate, such as Argonian or Thras, you may have to apply more salts if they become saturated. Some necromancers remove the vital organs before or after this process, but I have never found any practical reason for doing this. The next step is to wrap the servant in cloth or linen. This will further preserve the body against decay, and, if done properly, will offer some protection as well. Do not worry if the corpse seems too stiff or desiccated to be a useful servant. The proper rituals will imbue the mummified corpse with the strength to move itself. Most importantly, you will have a much stronger servant who will follow your commands with more independence and understanding.
To be read immediately. Notice to all employees. It's come to my attention that the last batch of Blackbriar Private Reserve was simply our standard Blackbriar mead placed in the incorrect bottles. We sold 6 cases of the Private Reserve recently, and they were all returned. To make amends, we've replaced the cases with the correct supply at our cost. Due to this blunder, the cost of those cases will be removed from this month's wages. Inderin.
Saints and Seducers by Andoch Marie. Author's note. This volume attempts to catalogue and analyze known, suspected, and rumored facts about the 2 races that serve to maintain order within the Shivering Isles. It is by no means intended to serve as the authoritative work on the matter. Rather, it is a personal effort on the part of the author to better understand these unique creatures. In the service of the Lord. It is beyond the scope of this work to determine the origins of the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers. They are Daedra, and as such their base existence is a mystery to those mortal-born. The commonly held belief is that all Daedra are incapable of creation, suggesting that even Lord Sheogorath himself is not responsible for the genesis of these races. Yet it is worth noting that the Prince of Madness has motives and power that none may guess. To attempt to do so would only confuse the subject further. It is enough, then, to see that they exist and know that it is so. Beyond this knowledge, however, it is curious that the Saints and Seducers serve Lord Sheogorath unerringly. This allegiance is ultimate and eternal from all indications, but its source is unknown. Could it be that they themselves were tricked into service by the mad god? Or do they simply ally themselves with the greatest power in the realm? Previous literary works suggest that Daedra choose to serve their masters so they might find protection and safe harbor. Clearly the Saints and Seducers have this in the Shivering Isles. Indeed, they have fortresses which few not of their race are allowed to enter. They have power in the realm, acting as guardians of those who serve Lord Sheogorath. Constantly they vie for the favor of our Lord, fighting any who oppose him, and at times even each other. It is reasonable to assume, then, that they have made a willing choice to take up their role on the Isles. Character and society. The immediate image called to mind when hearing the name Golden Saint suggests an angelic figure, elegant and benevolent. It is ironic, then, that while the Golden Saints embody this image in form, their behavior is in stark contrast to it. The Saints are a proud, arrogant race, quick to anger and cruel in their punishment. There is no question that they view all in the Isles as inferior, and make no effort to hide this in their intentions. Dark Seducers also exhibit little beyond their appearance to match their names. While they too assert their superiority over all others in the realm, they appear to have a more patient, introspective nature about them. They often appear humble in their dealings with mortals, and are known to be patient with the lesser races. In fact, the terms Golden Saint and Dark Seducer are external constructs. While the 2 groups recognize and respond to these names, they have their own names for their races, the Oriel and the Mazken, respectively. It is possible the Daedra simply have no concern for the names and titles given to them by lesser beings. or perhaps they find amusement in the names. Further research into this subject is necessary but daunting, as the saints and seducers do not freely offer personal information about themselves. Other information can be gathered from observation. It is easy to see that the two groups are strongly militaristic in their societal structure. One's strength and discipline determines one's place in society. Military commanders, for example, are revered by their subordinates. With further observation, a second distinction becomes apparent. Both societies are matriarchal in nature. Females lead the guards within New Sheoth and have the highest positions of power. Males, while not openly denigrated, are clearly subservient to their female superiors. It is unclear where this practice began, but has been wholly integrated into the daily lives of both races. Conflict and conquest. Any resident of the Shivering Isles can confirm it is unwise to provoke the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers. They thrive on conflict and warfare, and are quick to punish any and all who disobey. Acting in their capacity as guardians of the realm does not satisfy them, however, and so they often engage in combat with one another, despite being garrisoned in areas where they are unlikely to interact. It is possible that this is more than an outlet for aggressive behavior. Repeated engagements between the two races may be an effort to gain favor with Lord Sheogorath. If one can triumph over the other, it would prove superiority and a right to gain sole control over the realm. The battle for Skylarn is of particular interest, as both sides have been locked in combat with no hope of resolution for time beyond memory. Does this combat serve to sharpen the skills of the two sides, or weaken them when they could be directed elsewhere? If the conflict cannot be resolved, why then does Lord Sheogorath not step in to settle it himself? Religion and ceremony. Little is known about the private customs of the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers. They are reclusive when it comes to matters specific to their race, particularly regarding the mysterious process by which they return to the realm in the unlikely event of their death. It is common knowledge that Golden Saints and Dark Seducers, as Daedra, cannot be killed. The animus of the Daedra is cast back into the darkness of oblivion and can return to the realm to take form once more. But reports of the time it takes for a Daedra to return to the realm from the waters of oblivion are anecdotal and inconclusive. The process by which this return occurs remains shrouded in mystery. Based on behavior patterns and strength of numbers, it can be deduced that the stronghold for each race plays some major part in this process. Common phrases in language, such as "may the chimes call you home," suggest that rather than merely a metaphor, sound may play some role in the sequence of events. It is believed that the chimes referenced by saints and seducers do indeed exist and are considered almost holy relics. Attempts to gain information about these chimes, or the process by which they are used, has been met with exceptional hostility, and so have been abandoned. Any and all information regarding the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers, particularly relating to private customs and origins, should be brought to the attention of the author immediately. The greater the scope of our knowledge, the better our ability to understand these compelling creatures. Solanus' Journal, Volume 1. 14th of last seed, 4E130. Our guild has been commissioned to capture and restrain a renegade Blades captain. Many tall tales have been spoken of his cruelty and malice, some even claiming he is part serpent. In addition to bearing the arms of his former employers, it is said that he wields an Akaviri weapon of dark magic. The combination makes him quite formidable. Thankfully, the guild has great experience in dealing with such things, and we will win the day. 6th of Hearthfire, 4E130. We encountered our foe, but all did not go as planned, and he escaped us. He was more powerful than we had imagined, and many lives were lost as a result of our misjudgment. However, I am now convinced that his dreaded blade is the source of his power, as I have witnessed firsthand the dark magic it yields, for the blade drinks both life force and mana from any that befall it. We must think of a way to separate our foe from the source of his power. 2nd of Sun's Dusk, 4E130. We have devised a means to separate our foe from his blade, and we must now set a trap and lure him to us. I am certain that it will work, but to be sure, I must think of an incentive to draw him to us. I think it would be prudent to research this former captain in more depth. 13th of Sun's Dusk, 4E130. Upon reading what I have regarding our captain, my heart almost feels pity for him. It would seem that his madness and malice stem from the loss of his wife. The records reveal that it was after this tragic event that the darkness of the soul overcame him. However, pity will not save lives. He must be stopped in all event. Therefore, I have decided to acquire the remains of his loved one, in the hope that this will draw him to us.
Shazar and the Divines, by Faustilius Junius, Sub-Curator of Ancient Theology and Paleonumerology, Imperial Library. The relationship between the god Shazar and the other Cyrodiilic deities. The position Shazar enjoys in Cyrodiilic worship is often misconstrued. He, and 1,000 other deities, have sizable cults in the Imperial City. Shazar is especially venerated in the Colovian West, though he is called Shor there, as the West kings are resolutely and religiously Nordic. The haziness of Shazar's relationship to the Divines, he is often called their missing sibling, begins with Saint Alicia, the so-called slave queen of Cyrodiil, the founder figure of the original Cyrodiilic Empire. In the earliest Syro-Nordic stories of the Heartland, Shazar fought against the Aelids, the Heartland High Elves, on mankind's behalf. Then, for some unknown reason, he vanishes from the stage, presumably to help other humans elsewhere, and, without his leadership, the Aelids conquered the humans and enslaved them. This slavery lasts for generations. The isolated humans eventually began to venerate the pantheon of their masters, or at least assimilate so much of High Elven religious practices into their native traditions that the two become indistinguishable. In First Era 242, under the leadership of Alicia, her demigod lover, Morahaus Breath of Kine, and the infamous Pelinal Whitestrake, the Cyrodiilic humans revolt. When Skyrim lends its armies to the slave queen of the south, the revolution succeeds. The Aeliad hegemonies are quickly overthrown. Shortly thereafter, White Gold Tower is captured by Alicia's forces, and she promptly declares herself the first Empress of Cyrodiil. Part of the package meant that she had to become the High Priestess of Akatosh as well. Akatosh was an Aldmeri god, and Alicia's subjects were as yet unwilling to renounce their worship of the Elven pantheon. She found herself in a very sensitive political situation. She needed to keep the Nords as her allies, but they were, at that time, fiercely opposed to any adoration of elven deities. On the other hand, she could not force her subjects to revert back to the Nordic pantheon for fear of another revolution. Therefore, concessions were made, and Empress Alicia instituted a new religion, the Eight Divines, an elegant, well-researched synthesis of both pantheons, Nordic and Aldmeri. Shazar, as a result, had to change. He could no longer be the bloodthirsty, anti-Aldmer warlord of old. He could not disappear altogether either, or the Nords would have withdrawn their support of her rule. In the end, he had become the spirit behind all human undertaking. Even though this was merely a thinly disguised, watered-down version of Shor, it was good enough for the Nords. As for why Tiber Septim has not attempted to revitalize Shazar during his wars against the Aldmeri Dominion, we can only speculate that, at this time, memories of the Elysian Order's follies, the Dragon Break, the War of Righteousness, the defeat at Glenumbria Moors, would only damage his campaign for the imperial crown. Sithis, a text detailing an apparent connection between Sithis and Lorcan. Sithis is the start of the house. Before him was nothing, but the foolish Altmer have names for and revere this nothing. That is because they are lazy slaves. Indeed, from the sermons, stasis asks merely for itself, which is nothing. Sithis sundered the nothing and mutated the parts, fashioning from them a myriad of possibilities. These ideas ebbed and flowed and faded away, and this is how it should have been. One idea, however, became jealous and did not want to die. Like the stasis, he wanted to last. This was the demon Anui El, who made friends, and they called themselves the Aedra. They enslaved everything that Sithis had made and created realms of everlasting imperfection. Thus are the Aedra the false gods, that is, illusion. So Sithis begat Lorcan and sent him to destroy the universe. Lorcan, unstable mutant. Lorcan had found the Aedric weakness. While each rebel was, by their nature, immeasurable, They were, through jealousy and vanity, also separate from each other. They were also unwilling to go back to the nothing of before. So while they ruled their false dominions, Lorkhan filled the void with a myriad of new ideas. These ideas were legion. Soon it seemed that Lorkhan had a dominion of his own, with slaves and everlasting imperfections, and he seemed, for all the world, like an Aedra. Thus did he present himself as such to the demon Anuiel and the 8 givers, as a friend. Go unto the Sharmat Degoth Ur as a friend. I Herma Mora Al Tadun, Padhom Elkan Ai.
Your lips look cold. Should I warm them up a bit? You're a bit pale. Need a drink? Come on, take a few sips for me, my love.
Vus, Roda!
Hello, love. Right, let's get going.
I've seen outsiders in our village before, but none were like you. Perhaps I'll be the first Skaal to slay a dragon. That would be worthy of a tale.
Your mother tells me that you want to leave the village.
That's right. I want to go out into the world and earn great glory. I want to hunt the deadliest creatures and claim vast riches. I'm wary of living in this village. I want to do something with my life other than farm, fish, and hunt deer. I know it must be hard for an adventurer such as you to understand this, but we Skaal live very boring lives.
You'd abandon your mother when she needs you most?
There is truth in your words. She has not been herself since my father's death. I can see that in my eagerness for adventure I have forgotten my duties as a son and as a Skaal. You have helped me to see wisdom, and I thank you for that, Skaal friend.
If Nicholas leaves, I fear he will never return.
Nicholas has agreed to stay.
May the Allmaker bless you with many sons and daughters, outsider. Once again, you have shown that you are a true friend of the Skaal. I wish that I could give you a reward that is equal to the joy in my heart, but I don't have much to offer one who has so much already. Perhaps these will prove useful to you. These herbs are unique to the island, and their light cannot be found elsewhere.
Who do you trade with?
Many hunters pass through our village, and sometimes the Dark Elves of Raven Rock visit us. They bring us things from their homeland that we can't find on the island, such as spices, fine cloth, and ores that we cannot mine here. It's true we Skaal prefer a simpler life than some, but we do still enjoy a luxury from time to time.
What have you got for sale?
I gathered some plants that are useful for making potions, but I have other goods as well.
Or are you here to rescue me? Outsider. I remember you. You're the one who freed the Skaal from the dark spell. Thank the All-Maker that you have come. These accursed elves have taken me from my home.
Are you hurt badly? Do you need healing?
No. No, my wounds are not serious. I don't think the elves were trying to harm me. Perhaps they intended to frighten me. At worst, I have a few bruises to show for my ordeal.
Why would the Thalmor abduct you?
I do not know this word, Thalmor. But if you mean the elves, they were trying to learn the secrets of forging Stalrim. Their leader, an elf named Ankarian, has a map. He says that it shows the location of a hidden source of Stalrim.
Stalrim? What's that?
Enchanted ice. As hard as iron and as cold as death. Stalrim can be forged into deadly weapons, but the art is known only to the smiths of the Skaal.
Where can I find this Ankarian?
They have a ship. They took me there and showed me the map. You will find it on the northern coast of the island. Please, do not let Ankarian make his weapons. Kill him or let him live. But take the map from him. It belongs with the Skaal. I will return to the village. When you have the map, please bring it to me there. And thank you. May the All-Maker bless your days.
You know, love, if you keep looking at me like that, we might not make it to our next destination. Moving on.
Oh.
My blade is thirsting for blood! Damn it!
You are trespassing here. I strongly... No
No more! I yield!
Who sent you to stop us? It hardly matters.
It is good to see you again, my friend. Did you find the elves at their ship?
Yes, and I've brought you the map to the Stalrim source.
I know you faced great danger to bring this map to me. There are no words to tell how glad my heart is. Thank you, brave one. I name you friend of the Skaal, and I will trust you with the knowledge of forging Stalrim. If you bring Stalrim here to my forge, you can use my tools to make what you will from it. Until our next meeting, Skaal friend. May your hunts always bring you game, and your crops grow tall and bountiful.
I heard from Dior how you went in search of Baldur. That was very brave, and in fact, that's just the kind of courage I'm looking for.
Let me guess. You need me to do something dangerous.
Quite right, quite right. This, however, is paying work. Allow me to explain. As a scholar of history, I've always found Solstheim to be most intriguing. I've made many forays into the ancient ruins that cover the island. I've come to know those ruins so well, I could draw you a map from memory. That's why I noticed the new passage the moment I laid eyes on it.
A new passage to what?
An old tomb, I think. It must have been opened by an earthquake that accompanied one of the Red Mountain's eruptions. I'd love to have a closer look, but those old ruins can be dangerous, and I'm no adventurer. I'll pay you to watch my back down there. I'll be heading back there soon. If you're interested, meet me at the ruins and we'll see what we can find. Now I'm off to pack for the expedition.
I'd be happy to teach you.
Nicholas' patience to work.
Well, Dior and Ursa are still around. In time, I'm sure that they will have many children. Perhaps one of them will want to learn the ways of Iron Shape.
Could you craft me some Stalhrim armor as well? Might as well complete the set. Could you forge me a Stalhrim sword too? Or maybe a bow?
Dragonborn.
Remarkable, isn't it? This tomb has been hidden for, well, who knows how long. Many centuries, I would think. I've had a look around, and the only interesting thing I've found is this inscription here, and a switch below it. Now, I'm not sure if you can read the dragon language, but this seems to be a riddle of some sort. A sacrifice will bring you closer to that which you seek. I wonder what it means. Mind your step. There seem to be some corpses strewn about on the floor here. I wonder if this fire pit has anything to do with the riddle. You go ahead and see what you can figure out. I'll look around and see if I can find anything of use. I can't help but wonder if this place has some connection to the history of the spot. Well done. Looks like we can head in either direction. Since you seem to know what you're doing, why don't you lead the way? I expect there's another riddle in here, along with a puzzle. Continue along the path. Don't tread where you've been. Interesting. Well, I'm pretty sure about two things. One, the riddle is most likely referring to these flat, square stones. And two, I'm not going anywhere near them. Only 5 more to go. Now let's just hope something good happens when you... And... Splendid! The gates have opened. closer. Look at these runes. More of the Dragon Town. The runes have faded a bit, but I believe I can translate the inscription. This writing refers to a guardian who inspired both men and dragons. I wonder if the guardian was himself a man or a dragon. It looks like a secret entrance opened up along the wall. You lead the way. If only these walls could speak. I would love to hear the stories they could tell.
That cold stink of death.
Fools, throw down!
A different form of attack will yield better results. 3 pillars. Other than that plaque, there doesn't seem to be anything else worthy of note. Let's see what the inscription says. All men must die, often by their own means. Sounds rather grim if you ask me. The inscription must be a reference to these pillars. Three pillars surrounding a center. They're connected somehow. They also have glowing stones of some kind at the top. They look vaguely similar to drawings I've seen of objects called impact stones. Well, see what you can figure out. I'm going to inspect these pillars further. To see if I've missed something. Ah, that's the trick.
Go now deep in the earth.
There you go. Now let's see what mysteries await us in the next room. Let's find out what's written here. The writing describes a guardian who defeated someone named Mirak. In fact, if I'm reading this correctly, it says that Mirak was a traitor. Most interesting. There's probably an exit through one of these sarcophagi. Let's get moving. So that's where that goes. All right. Now, just a minute. All right. Let's see what we have next. Here's another riddle. Stay your course, to idle is to die. Well, at least it's straightforward. There appears to be a switch of some kind here. I'll just stand over here while you flip that switch. I'm sure everything will be fine. By the nine, I've never seen anything like this. This little platform is entirely of packaged wood. Keep moving, and don't look down. Other than to see where you're going. I'm guessing this one will go even faster. Just remember to stay focused. And most importantly, run. How amazing! A real dragon priest! In all my years as a historian, I never thought I'd see anything like that. I suppose that was Vahlok. He must have had this entire place built for him so that he could maintain his vigil, even beyond death.
He must have been someone important.
Indeed. I knew that the dragon priests were thought to have been powerful men of great will, but I had no idea. Well, I suppose I've seen everything I came for, and you kept up your end of the bargain. I promised payment, and here it is. Now I think I'll spend some more time studying this word war. What a book this will make!
Welcome to the Villamere Inn. If there's anything I can get you, just let me know. May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
I have a delivery from Romlin.
All right, pipe down. You want the whole blessed place to hear you? The arrangement called for a trade. I hope you'll find this suitable. If you pass through again, stop by for a drink.
What made life such a threat for somebody to perform the black sacrament?
I like the rift better than anywhere in Skyrim. Cold forests and broken mountains. It always felt familiar somehow.
Hey, you okay?
About surviving out here.
Yes, my love.
I'm exhausted.
I know, love. There's a tavern not far from here, where I can set up camp right now.
Could you set up a campsite?
Sure thing. Everything alright? You seem a bit distracted.
Do you remember the first person you ever killed?
My first kill? Yeah, of course I remember. Brynjar always told me it would be a bounty. That one day he'd leave that final blow to me and I'd need to collect. But it wasn't a bounty. I never told him it wasn't, but it wasn't.
Will you tell me about it?
No, it's a long story.
That's all right. I'll listen if you want to tell it.
Yeah, alright then. When I was 16, we were in Bruma. It was late and we had to leave for a job at daybreak. But Brynjar hadn't returned to camp. I remember going through the tavern, asking after him. It was dark, crowded. Someone spilled something on me. I don't know what. Eventually the barkeeper told me he'd been thrown out earlier for brawling. So, next place to look was the slums, where he might be sleeping in the snow or looking for the next tavern. I didn't know I'd been followed till I took a wrong turn. It was this narrow alley with a dead end and barrels of something rotten. I went to double back and this man was blocking me way. I hadn't even heard him. He slurred something, jangled some coin at me, and I I tried to run, but he grabbed me by the arm. I remember biting his hand, the stink of him, getting slammed against the wall and his weight pressing down upon me chest. It was the first real fight for me life, and I knew it. I knew that I could die in a real fucking bad way. But somewhere in that struggle, my mind got clear and I remembered me knife. I can still remember how that first stab felt. Not really the ones that followed, but I do feel that first one. He was so drunk it took him a while to realise what had happened, I think, until he collapsed. And all I knew was that I couldn't stop until I was certain he wasn't going to get up again. He had this sort of shocked look stuck on his face when the light went out of him, staring at me, into me. I tried cleaning the blood off me with the snow. There was a cut on my hand I had to bind, and I just got out of there, straight back to the camp. I didn't sleep for weeks after. That was also the last time I ever went looking for Brynjar when he was off drinking.
That's so horrible. I'm so sorry.
It's horrible. But the world's full of that sort of stuff. And it could have been worse. If I hadn't killed him, it would have been worse.
Let's talk.
My gorgeous wife.
What are you thinking about, love?
I am still thinking about the first time that I saw you.
I love you, Kaiden.
I love you. Alright then.
Handwritten note. I grow impatient with your lack of progress. If you cannot break the smith, I will be forced to find a more capable interrogator. I expect your next report to contain more encouraging results. A. Short History of Morrowind by Jeanette Sitt. From the introduction. Led by the legendary prophet Veloth, the ancestors of the Dunmer, exiles from Altmer cultures in present-day Somerset Isle, came to the region of Morrowind. In earliest times, the Dunmer were harassed or dominated by Nord sea raiders. When the scattered Dunmer tribes consolidated into the predecessors of the modern Great House class, they threw out the Nord oppressors and successfully resisted further incursions. The ancient ancestor worship of the tribes was in time superseded by the monolithic tribunal temple theocracy, and the Dunmer grew into a great nation called Resdayn. Resdayn was the last of the provinces to submit to Tiber Septim. Like Black Marsh, it was never successfully invaded, and was peacefully incorporated by treaty into the Empire as the province of Morrowind. Almost 4 centuries after the coming of the Imperial Legions, Morrowind is still occupied by Imperial Legions, with a figurehead Imperial King, though the Empire has reserved most functions of the traditional local government to the ruling councils of the 5 great houses. On Vardenfell District. In 3E414, Vardenfell territory, previously a temple preserve under Imperial protection, was reorganized as an Imperial provincial district. Vardenfell had been maintained as a preserve administrated by the temple since the Treaty of the Armistice, and except for a few great house settlements sanctioned by the temple, Vardenfell was previously uninhabited and undeveloped. But when the centuries-old temple ban on trade and settlement of Vardenfell was revoked by King of Morrowind, a flood of Imperial colonists and Great House Dunmer came to Vardenfell, expanding old settlements and building new ones. The new district was divided into Redoran, Hlalu, Telvanni, and Temple districts, each separately administered by local house councils or temple priesthoods, and all under the advice and consent of Duke Dren and the district council in Ebonheart. Local law became a mixture of house law and imperial law in house districts, jointly enforced by house guards and legion guards, with temple law and imperial law enforced in the temple district by ordinators. The temple was still recognized as the majority religion, but worship of the 9 divines was protected by the legions and encouraged by imperial cult missions. The temple district included the city of Vivec, the fortress of Ghostgate, and all sacred and profane sites, including those blighted areas inside the Ghost Fence, and all unsettled and wilderness areas on Vardenfell. In practice, this district included all parts of Vardenfell not claimed for Redoran, Hlalu, or Telvanni districts. The temple stubbornly fought all development in their district and were largely successful. House Hlalu, in combination with imperial colonists, embarked on a vigorous campaign of settlement and development. In the decades after reorganization, Balmora and the Ascadian Isles region have grown steadily. Caldera and Pelagiad are completely new settlements, and all legion forts were expanded to accommodate larger garrisons. House Telvanni, normally conservative and isolationist, has been surprisingly aggressive in expanding beyond their traditional tower villages. Disregarding the protests of the other houses, the Temple, the Duke, and the District Council, Telvanni pioneers have been encroaching on the wild lands reserved to the Temple. The Telvanni Council officially disavows responsibility for these rogue Telvanni settlements, but it is an open secret that they are encouraged and supported by ambitious Telvanni magelords. Under pressure from the Temple, conservative House Redoran has steadfastly resisted expansion in their district. As a result, House Redoran and the Temple are in danger of being politically and economically marginalized by the more aggressive and expansionist Hlalu and Telvanni interests. The Imperial administration faces many challenges in the Vardenfell district, but the most serious are the great house rivalries, animosity from Ashlander nomads, internal conflicts within the temple itself, and the Red Mountain Blight. Struggles between Great House, Temple, and Imperial interests to control Vardenfell's resources could at any time erupt into full-scale war. Ashlanders raid settlements, plunder caravans, and kill foreigners in their wild lands. The Temple has unsuccessfully attempted to silence criticism and calls for reform within its ranks. But most serious are the plagues and diseased hosts produced by the blight storm sweeping out from Red Mountain. Vardenfell and all Morrowind have long been menaced by the legendary evils of Dagoth-Ur and his ash vampire kin dwelling beneath Red Mountain. For centuries, the temple has contained the threat within the Ghost Fence, but recently the temple's resources and will have faltered, and the threat from Red Mountain has grown in scale and intensity. If the Ghost Fence should fall, and hosts of blighted monsters were to spill out across Vardenfell's towns and villages, the Empire might have no choice but to evacuate Vardenfell district and abandon it to disease and corruption. Solonis's Journal, Volume 2. First of Evening Star, 4E130. We have secured a location that will serve us well, an old partially abandoned smuggler's hideout in Riften. One of the council members, Sishel Gotharian, has done prior business with the inhabitants and pointed us in their direction. It was a prudent choice, as the small band of unsavory entrepreneurs seem more than happy to assist us with our venture, for they have a love of gold above all else. With this much aid, building our trap should be accomplished reasonably quickly. Once this is done, we will bring her remains to us and draw our spider out. 18th of Morning Star, 4E 131. It is done. Now all we can do is wait. When he arrives, we will incapacitate him with our magic and separate him from his blade. We will then channel his life force and mana into our constructed device, which will use his own energy to shield the weapon from him. In essence, he will become bound to it, for whilst he lives, the shield will hold. Hopefully this plan will work, and we can avoid bloodshed, for given what we now know of him, we do not wish his death. Perhaps there is even hope that, without his blade, we can rehabilitate him, for despite his crimes, I do pity the poor soul. Letter from Kaiden, 6 Sun's Height 201. Lirya, just wanted to say that I know I might come across as a bit of an arse at times. Don't be meaning to. Lately feels like every time I sort out me thoughts and figure out how to talk to you without sounding like a daft idiot, I take one look at your face and can't remember a damn thing. Not that there's anything wrong with your face, mind. You've a very nice face. Just sometimes when I look at it, my stomach tenses up and I choke on my words. Shit, not that your face makes me sick or anything. Look, I was trying to apologize if I've been an arse, but clearly can't even do that without being an arse. I'm not really used to being around people. Definitely not around people I am growing to respect and admire like I do you. Kaiden.
Nerevar at Red Mountain by the Tribunal Temple. The following is from the Apocrypha, the hidden writings of the Tribunal Temple. It is a scholarly retelling of a tradition transmitted through the Ashlanders concerning the battle at Red Mountain and subsequent events. The Ashlanders associate this tale with the telling of Alandros Sol, a shield companion of Nerevar, who came to live among the Ashlanders after the death of Nerevar and during the ascension of the Tribunal. There are many variant treatments of this story, but the primary elements are consistent throughout the tradition. The murder of Nerevar, the tragic fate of Dagoth-Ur, and the profane source of the Tribunal's divine power are denied by temple doctrine as ignorant Ashlander superstition, and not widely known among civilized Dunmer. Resdain, present-day Morrowind, was contested ground between two very different types of Mer, the Chimer, who worshipped Daedra, and the Dwemer, who worshipped a profane and secret power. These two people warred with each other constantly until their lands were invaded by a young, vibrant, and violent alien culture, the Nords. Two heroes, one from the Chimer and one from the Dwemer, Induril Nerevar and Dumak Dwarfork, made peace between their people and together ousted the alien invaders. Then these two heroes worked long and hard to maintain that peace thereafter, though their counselors thought it could not last, or worse, that it shouldn't. Nerevar's queen and his generals, Almalexia, Sothasil, and Vivek, told him to claim all Resdain for his own, but Nerevar would not listen, for he remembered his friendship with Dumak. There would be only peace. Until Dagoth-Ur arrived. House Dagoth had discovered the source of the profane and secret power of the Dwemer, the legendary Heart of Lorkhan, which Dumak's people had used to make themselves immortal and beyond the measure of the gods. In fact, one of their high priests, Kagranak, was building a new god so that the Dwemer could claim Resdain for their own. The Tribunal urged Nerevar again to make war on the dwarves. Nerevar was troubled. He went to Dumak, his friend of old, and asked if what Dagoth-Ur had said was true. But Kagranak and the high priests of the Dwemer had kept their new god secret from their king, and Dumak said the Dwemer were innocent of any wrongdoing. Nerevar was troubled again and made pilgrimage to Holamayan, the secret temple of Azura, who confirmed that all that Dagoth-Ur said was indeed true, and that the new god of the Dwemer should be destroyed for the safety of not only Resdain, but for the whole world. When Nerevar went back and told his tribunal what the goddess had said, his queen and generals felt themselves proved aright, and again counseled him to war. There were reasons that the Dwemer and Chimer had hated each other forever. Finally, Nerevar, angered that his friend Dumak would lie to him, went back to Vardenfell. This time, the Chimer king was arrayed in arms and armor and had his hosts around him, and he spoke harshly to Dumak Dwarfork, king of Red Mountain. "You must give up your worship of the Heart of Lorkhan, or I shall forget our friendship and the deeds that were accomplished in its name." And Dumak, who still knew nothing of Kagranak's new god, but proud and protective as ever of his people, said, "We shall not relinquish that which has been our way for years beyond reckoning, just as the Chimer would not relinquish their ties to the lords and ladies of Oblivion. And to come to my door in this way, arrayed in arms and armor, and with your hosts around you, tells me you have already forgotten our friendship. Stand down, my sweet Nerevar, or I swear, by the 15 golden tones, I shall kill you and all your people." And so the Chimer and Dwemer went to war. The Dwemer were well defended by their fortress at Red Mountain, but the bravery and cleverness of Nerevar's queen and generals drew most of Dumak's armies out into the field and kept them there, so that Nerevar and Dagoth-Ur could make their way into the Heart Chamber by secret means. There, Nerevar met Dumak and the Dwarf King, and they both fell from grievous wounds. Dagoth-Ur slew Kagranak and took the tools the Dwemer used to tap the power of the heart. He went to his dying lord Nerevar and asked him what to do with these tools. And Nerevar summoned Azura again, and she showed them how to use the tools to separate the power of the heart from the Dwemer people. and on the fields, the tribunal and their armies watched as the Dwemer turned into dust all around them as their stolen immortality was taken away. Back in Red Mountain, Nerevar told Dagoth-Ur to protect the tools and the heart chamber until he returned. Dagoth-Ur said, "But shouldn't we destroy these tools at once, so that they might never be used for evil again?" But Nerevar was confused by his wounds and his sorrow, for he still loved Dumak and the Dwemer people, and so went to the fields outside of Red Mountain to confer with his queen and his generals, who had foreseen that this war would come, and whose counsel he would not ignore again. "I will ask the tribunal what we shall do with them, for they have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, loyal Dagoth-Ur, until I return." Then Nerevar told his queen and generals all that had transpired under Red Mountain, and how the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals, and of the wondrous power of the heart of Lorkhan. The tribunal decided that Khmer should learn how to use this power so that Nerevar might claim Resdain and the world for their people. Nerevar did not expect or want this, so he asked his queen and generals to help him summon Azura yet again for her guidance. But the tribunal had become as greedy as Kagrenak upon hearing of the power of the heart, and they coveted it. They made ritual as if to summon Azura, as Nerevar wanted, but Almalexia used poisoned candles, and Sothasil used poisoned robes, and Vivek used poisoned invocations. Nerevar was murdered. Then Azura came forth anyway, and cursed the tribunal for their foul deeds. She told them that she would use her powers over dusk and dawn to make sure Nerevar would come back and make things right again. But the tribunal laughed at her, and said that soon they would be gods themselves, and that the Khmer people would forget their old ways of worship. And Azura knew this would be true, and that it would take a long time before her power might bring Nerevar back. "What you have done here today is foul beyond measure, and you will grow to regret it. For the lives of gods are not what mortals think, and matters that weigh only years to mortals weigh on gods forever." And so that they might know forever their wicked deeds, Azura changed the Khmer into Dunmer, and their skin turned ashen, and their eyes into fire. Let this mark remind you of your true selves, who, like ghouls, fed on the nobility, heroism, and trust of their king. And then the tribunal went into Red Mountain, and met with Dagoth-Ur. Dagoth-Ur saw what had been done, for his skin has changed as well, and he tried to avenge the death of Nerevar, but to no avail. He was driven off and thought dead. The tribunal found the tools he had been guarding, and, through study of Kagrenak's methods, turned themselves into gods. Thousands of years after their apotheosis, the tribunal are still the gods of Morrowind, and the old ways of worship are remembered only by a few, and the murder of Nerevar is known to fewer. But his queen and generals still fear his return, for the words of Azura linger long, and they see the mark of her curse on their people every day.
Skyrim's Rule by Abdul Mujib Ababni. In my travels, and they have been many, I have encountered many strange peoples and cultures in many different provinces of the Empire, and in each I have found a method of governing and customs of leadership unique to that particular province. In Blackmarsh, for example, the Argonian king relies upon his Shadowscale assassins to eliminate threats secretly, without the common knowledge of his people. In the imperial province of Cyrodiil, the emperor may rule directly, but the power granted to his elder council cannot be understated. During a recent journey to Skyrim, that harsh, frozen realm of the Nords, I was able for the first time to witness the unique manner of rule of this strong, proud people. It would appear that the entire province of Skyrim is separated into territories known as holds, and each hold finds its seat of power in one of the great ancient cities, and in each of those cities there rules that hold's king, known as a Jarl. The Jarls of Skyrim are, as a whole, a fierce sight indeed. Sitting on their thrones, ready to administer justice or send their forces out to quell some local threat, be it a pack of feral wolves or a terrifying giant that has wandered too close to a settlement. In observing these Jarls, I found each to, of course, have his or her own unique personality and leadership style. But what I perhaps did not expect, especially considering the Nord leaders' unfair reputation as barbarians or uncivilized chieftains, was the formal structure of each Jarl's court. For while that hold's leader may be the one to sit on the throne, there is also a collection of functionaries who serve very specific and important roles. The court wizard counsels the Jarl in all matters magical, and may even sell services or spells to the keep's visitors. The steward is the Jarl's primary advisor, and generally takes care of the more mundane aspects of running the keep, the city, or even the hold, depending on the situation. And woe is the fool who defies the housecarl, a personal bodyguard who rarely leaves the Jarl's side, and has pledged to sacrifice his or her own life to save that of their honored leader, if ever the need should arrive. But as mighty and influential as each individual Jarl is, Skyrim's true power comes from the strength of its High King. The High King is ruler above all, and is always one of the Jarls, selected by a body called the Moot, a specially convened council of all the Jarls who meet with the express purpose of choosing Skyrim's High King. Or so it is, in theory. The reality, however, is that the High King swears fealty to the Emperor, and as Solitude is the city most directly influenced by imperial culture and politics, the Jarl of Solitude has served as High King for generations. The Moot, therefore, is more formality and theater than anything else. But as I prepared to leave Skyrim, I could feel a change in the air, sense the trepidation of some of the good Nord people. Many seemed unhappy with their empire's continued presence in their land, and the outlawing of the worship of Talos as the ninth divine, a stipulation of the White Gold Concordat, the peace treaty between the Empire and Aldmeri Dominion, has only strengthened that division. So, while the Jarls of Skyrim still control their holds, and those Jarls are ruled over by their imperial-sanctioned High King, will there come a day when the Moot convenes to select a new High King, one that is not, as many would say, the Emperor's Solitude puppet? If that day comes, I will be thankful to be far away from Skyrim, in my own home of Hammerfell, for such a decision could well mean civil war, and I fear that such a conflict would tear the fierce and beautiful Nord people asunder.
Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 5, The Song of the Alchemists, by Meribar Saul, Book 5 of an incomplete series of fictional stories about the Dwemer. When King Merineon's alchemist had to leave his station, after a laboratory experiment that yielded detonation, the word went out that the king did want a new savant to mix his potions and brews, but he declared he would only choose a fellow who knew the tricks and the tools. The king refused to hire on more fools. After much deliberation, discussions, and debates, the king picked two well-learned candidates. Ianthipius Minthirk and Umphatic Fair, an ambitious pair, vied to prove which one was the best. Said the king, "There will be a test." They went to a large chamber with herbs, gems, tomes, pots, measuring cups, all under high crystalline domes. "Make me a tonic that will make me invisible," laughed the king in a tone some would call risible. So Umphatic Fair and Ianthipius Minthirk began to work, mincing herbs, mashing metal, refining strange oils, cautiously setting their cauldrons to burbling boils, each on his own, sending mixing bowls mixing, sometimes peeking to see what the other was fixing. After they had worked for nearly 3/4 an hour, both Ianthipius Minthirk and Umphatic Fair winked at the other, certain he had won. Said King Merineon, "Now you must taste the potions you've wrought. Take a spoon and sample it right from your pot." Minthirk vanished as his lips touched the brew, but Fair tasted his and remained apparent in view. "You think you mix silver, blue diamonds, and yellow grass?" The king laughed. "Look up, Fair, up to the ceiling glass. The light falling makes the ingredients you choose quite different hues." "What do you get?" asked the floating voice bold. "Of a potion of red diamonds, blue grass, and gold." "By Dwemer God," said Fair, his face in a wince, "I've made a potion to fortify my own intelligence." Publisher's note: this poetry is so clearly in the style of Gorfalim that it really does not need any commentary. Note the simple rhyming scheme of AA, BB, CC, the sing-song but purposefully clumsy meter, and the recurring jokes at the obviously absurd names Umphatic Fair and Ianthipius Minthirk. The final joke, that the stupid alchemist invents a potion to make himself smarter by pure accident, would have appealed to the anti-intellectualism of audiences in the interregnum period, but would certainly be rejected by the Dwemer. Note that even Merobar Sol refuses to name any Dwemer gods. The Dwemer religion, if it can even be called that, is one of the most complex and difficult puzzles of their culture. Over the millennia, the song became a popular tavern song in High Rock, before eventually disappearing from everything but scholarly books, much like the Dwemer themselves.
I was just realizing, been a bit since I kissed you. Thought maybe your lips were lonely for mine.